back to the garage, and today we're getting back on the ATV content, as you can see from the thumbnail, and that should make quite a few of you happy. That makes me happy too. Anyways, the ATV actually belongs to a subscriber, and he's taking me up on the offer to fix something for free. All you have to do is supply the parts. I'll do all the labor free of charge, and that's what he chose to do. So let's meet the owner of the ATV. We got Jay and Ben here. He's a subscriber, and he brought his machine here for me to fix. And I'll introduce you to Jay.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Al?
And Ben, his son. And here's the machine they're bringing, and we got a broken, what is it? Shift shaft, right?
Your left-hand case half.
Left-hand case half's broken. He brought cases, and we're going to fix it. And he also brought a YZ85. A YZ85, and we're going to do the same thing to that, which is right here. We're going to put a new crank in that for him. This crank here. Pretty spent. So we'll get into that more later. But we just want to show you guys that somebody actually took me up on my offer of fixing their stuff for free.
Super excited.
Believe it or not, people don't want shit done for free. Unbelievable. All right. Thanks, guys, for bringing it by. We're going to fix it up for them, and we'll see them again when we get it done.
Thank you, Rob. You're awesome.
All right, I got it up on the lift, and just looking it over briefly. Let's see. We have down here is where the chain broke, and you can see the lever, the casing is gone, and that shift shaft is bent. So I don't think it's going to be any good. I'm probably going to have him get a new one. It does look like it's probably bent pretty good. And that's the only problem with this bike, for this ATV, I should say. I took it for a ride, and it runs really good. I didn't go far because it's leaking a lot of oil, but I took it up and down the street, and it runs really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the fluids draining, because we got to pull the motor, split the cases, and replace them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the oil draining and the coolant draining, and let's go over some of the stuff that the owner of the ATV brought. So the owner brought all this stuff. He brought me the oil needed, antifreeze. He brought some brake clean, and let's see, we got a complete engine gasket set here, the valve seals and everything. We got a seal kit. I think this is another top end kit for the same machine. Exhaust gasket, oil filter. We did get a new timing chain, which is good. And then these are all the bearings for the transmission and cranks. And he brought some Permatex and a shim kit for the valves. He also brought a set of bearings, which are right here, which I think these are hot rod bearings. So I think he doesn't want to use the hot rod bearings. I think he wants to use the factory style bearing, which is here, which I think I think they're a little more expensive. So we'll look into that and see how that goes. Let's open up the crate and see what's in there. Here are the engine cases. This is what we're gonna put these on the floor here. This is what we're gonna swap out, and these look really good. I looked them over when he dropped them off, and I didn't see any issues with them. Some of the bearings are a tad growly, but we're going to change them all anyway. So we should be good to go with that. And I don't know, we got a brake lever here. I don't know what some of this stuff goes to. Did he take the brake lever off of this bike? Nope, still on that. So I don't know why there's a brake lever in there. But anyways, we got some more engine gasket stuff here, and I'm pretty sure that this is for that small YZ. He's got a YZ85 that he dropped off, and the lower end is right here. Now he wants me to put a crank in this, and as you can see, we got massive up and down on that. This crank is spent. We're going to do that later because I want to get this done first so he can get some riding time in. So I'll get it done, call him, he can come get it, and then this motor here is a spare for his son's bike, so I don't think there's a big rush on doing that. But he did send all the stuff needed to put it back together. Piston, cylinder, gasket set for the motor. These are the side covers and stuff. Pink, it must have been a girl's bike at one time. There's the side cover. And here's some here's the parts, nuts and bolts, more nuts and bolts, chain guard for that bike as well. Looks like a Kickstarter gear, clutch, and what else we got there? Alright, this is the flywheel and the stator, kickstart lever, water pump housing, and shifter, shift lever. So we got all, I think we have everything here to put that motor back together, but that's going to be at a later date. And inside of here I think is the crank for the white. Yeah, that's the YZ85 crank. I guess we're going to reuse the crank, we're going to use the top end, we're going to reuse everything. The only thing we're going to replace, I think, internally is the timing chain. So I think without any further ado, I'm going to get this thing draining, and we're going to go over to the bench, and I think we're going to start with the cases. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take them apart, we're going to clean them, we're going to replace all the bearings, and we're going to get ready, have this all ready to go, so that when we get the motor out of this and we take it apart, split it, I can just take the transmission right out of it, put it in this, swap it over. I think that'll save us a lot of time. Alright guys, I pulled the plug out, drain plug, and you can see on here there is a lot of finely ground metal on that. So I don't know how good this bottom end is. We're gonna find out. That's definitely metal or aluminum. Alright, let's tear it apart. Alright, we got the oil drain in the main crankcase here. I still have to drain the reservoir here. I haven't done that yet. Well, let's take a look at this oil. Let's see if we can see anything in here. We got something we gotta swirl around. So that cloudiness right there that we're getting from the bottom, you guys can see that, is either aluminum engine case or water. So we are going to have to try to figure out what that is. Now I let this oil sit overnight, so all that's at the bottom. Alright, I got the antifreeze out. It looks pretty good. I don't see any issues with that. It looks real good. This is actually almost reusable. I may hang on to it. It's kind of a bluish color. I wonder if this is engine ice. Anyway, antifreeze looks good. Now I just want to talk about how this bike, the reason why this bike is here today and that I'm fixing it is because it threw a chain and mangled the case up, and it leaks oil everywhere when you ride it. So I just want to show you guys this. There is no play at all in that chain. That chain is super tight, and that is no good for your transmission or your bearings. So folks, make sure you have at least an inch of play up and down, and I'll show you what I mean. That might actually be just a little bit loose, but that's what you want. And I'll show you on another one. Same thing. That's what you're looking for. Not that. Let's pull the gas tank. For all you guys that know, this weekend there's a hurricane that's brushing by the east coast of the United States, and it's off the coast of Massachusetts right now, and it's causing havoc with wind and such. I've already disconnected the gas line, and for some reason there were already no bolts. There are no bolts in the tank, so you don't have to worry about that either. And this has a vacuum pump on it, so we're going to just pop that off. Just pull this right out of there. And it doesn't feel like there's any gas in it. Let's take a look. Oh, there is no gas in it, which is good. Alright, let's move on to something else. I think we have to take the rear fenders off. I need to get the airbox out, and I can't see where this thing's fastened by. So it needs to come out so we can get the carburetor out. So I'm going to take those off right now. All right, we got a fastener here. Here and here. I guess we got to take the CDI off. All right, the airbox is out on the floor over there. All this stuff I'm gonna go and put in storage just to get it out of my way, so I got some room to move. This bike is pretty rusty. If you guys can get a better look at that right there. Pretty rusty. Stuff needs to be cleaned up. Or maybe I'll wire wheel it, put a coat of paint on it so it doesn't get any worse. All right, we got a Phillips head here to get the carburetor off. And I'm not going to disconnect the choke cable or anything. I'm just going to lay it off to the side because it's not going to bother me. And then I need to get this line off so I can get the choke cable to go around it. It's got to come off anyway. All right, I want to get this thing out of here. I think so the side cover probably holds that on, and I didn't take that screw out. So, but this line right here, this top line is pretty much the only thing holding that in. So I'm going to take the lines out. It wasn't too difficult. All right, now potential problems. From the looks of the rust on this thing, I don't know if that's going to come loose. I need it to come loose in order to get this exhaust off. The exhaust has to come off to get the motor out. So I'm going to soak this with some PB Blaster, and hopefully it'll penetrate enough to allow us to get this off and this one off. All right, guys, question for you. This is the first time I ever worked on one of these. I noticed that this bolt right here and this bolt down here on the side cover look like they're either drain bolts or bleeder bolts. Leave a comment below and let me know what you guys, what these are. I mean, I'm gonna look it up in the service manual, but I'm just curious. That's what they look like. They look like they're probably bleeder to get the oil bled through the engine. But comment below, let me know what you guys think. Get it off. There we go. Chain is off. Alright guys, I got it to budge a little bit. Thought I had the camera on and I didn't, but it is turning, and I think what I want to do is put a little more lube on here, and you can tell by the smoke that I need to open the door. So I'm going to heat this, turn it, heat it, turn it, heat it, turn it. I don't want to break it off, and I'll come back when I'm done. Alright guys, I got it off. She's loose. Hot as heck. I'm going to move on to this one now, but I'm going to just use a regular Allen wrench because that socket, there's no way I'm going to touch that within the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to grab an Allen wrench and see if like this one here will pop off, and then we'll just slide the pipe off. I had to open the doors up because, man, it got smoky in here. Alright, that bolt's out, that bolt's out. It seems like the exhaust is pretty rusted onto that fitting right there, or whatever's in there. So I'm going to try to pry this thing off. See if we can rotate it a little bit. Alright, we got that off. Alright, now I gotta just take the flange off here. I don't think that's gonna give me any trouble, so I'm not gonna record that. I'm gonna do that off camera. Alright, the pipe's loose, but it won't come off unless I get the lower radiator hose off, so I'm gonna take the lower hose off right now. I think I had a similar issue to this the last time, and what I had to do was I had to take the thermostat elbow off, which I think I'm gonna have to do again. Let's take that out. There's your thermostat. Throw that in my box of parts. And we should be able to get this thing out of here now. Voila. Alright guys, I'm going to take the top engine mount out. I want to take that off before I start opening the motor up. Your mount's out. Alright, let's pull the spark plug and get a look at it. The spark plug tells a story, as we all know. And that plug doesn't look bad. I'm running a tad on the rich side, but I don't hate it. Alright, let's pull the valve cover now. These look like they've been wrenched on pretty good. I'm hoping they don't strip. Also, the shock of that will loosen the threads if they're stuck. Alright, here we go. Alright, all the screws are out. Let's pop the cover. Alright. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look horrible. Alright guys, I got the timing chain adjuster out, and just a tech tip, make sure you crack this nut before you take it out, because it's really hard to loosen this nut and hold that at the same time in your hand. So crack that before you take this out. And from what you can see here, that timing chain was pretty stretched, because this thing here is absolutely all the way out. There's no more adjustment left in that. So that timing chain is no good. Alright, let's loosen these up. Alright, the top of the timing chain guide is nice and smooth, there's no wear on it. That's a good thing. Let's pull this cap. Take a look at it. Oh boy. We got some galling here. And it's galled up pretty good. I think we know where the the cloudiness was coming from the motor, in the motor oil. That's not good. Let's check the other one. Oh wow, this one's worse. Oh my. Yep, not good at all. And the camshaft's all galled up. Well, that's not good. That's not good. I'm gonna have to call the owner and tell him. Oh man, that ain't good either. That's all galled up. Oh boy. Let's take a look at this one. I'm just gonna let the chain fall because it don't matter. This camshaft's not too bad. This one, yep, no good. Yeah, I don't think this head's any good. Let's keep going because the bike's no good the way it is. I'm going to take the 10mm off on this side here. Alright, let's crack the head bolts. Oh man. Whew. Definitely torqued. And you got to get the magnet to get the washer. You don't want to lose those. Again, magnet, washer. So this is one of the things, let me show you guys here. If I get you off. This is one of the things that I find very useful and helpful. Yamaha and Honda don't have this. The timing chain cannot fall down into the crankcase because it has this bolt in here. And it's a pretty cool idea, and I think that Kawasaki and Suzuki are the only ones that do it because they probably share the same engine. This guy can come out. Let me take this off. Guess it looks pretty good. We'll look at it on the bench. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we got here and assess the damage. So, unfortunately, I think that we're gonna have problems here. Alright, so the head gasket looks pretty good. This cam right here, get a look at it. It's got galling on it. I would replace it. It's not horrible. I mean, you could use it. It's not horrible. This one, on the other hand, has deep galling grooves in it. This cam is no good. That is. This one here too. All three journals have deep galls in them. So this cam is no good. Now let's look at the so this is the intake one. And there is galling on that, so I would say that this cam's no good either. I mean, look at this cap. I mean, is it usable? It might be, but that's pretty bad. This one, on the other hand, is not usable. You can see where there's actually metal has actually pushed over the edge there. See it? Because it is worn away. That is not usable. And because of that, it has galled up the top of the head. So the journals in this head are no good either. So let's take a look at the bottom side. I'm just going to leak oil all over the place. The bottom side of the head looks pretty good, which is a shame. This, in my mind, is not usable, but it's up to the guy who owns the bike, really. He wants to spend the money and get another head. I thought he said he had another head. I thought he said he got a head with the cases. If he did, and it's a good head, he lucked out. So at this point, I really don't know what else to do here but get a hold of the owner and see what he wants to do. All right, guys, I just got off the phone with the owner, and he said that he got a head with the cases, and he thinks the head's okay. He's got to check it out and get back to me. I don't know if he has camshafts with it, but he does have the head. He said he thinks it needs a guide, which is no big deal because I can actually take a guide out of that head. So it's not an issue. And if it needs valves, these valves are fine. We can take the valves out of this and swap them over. So he might have lucked out. This is what happens when you work on these old machines and you pull them apart. You always find something. It ran fine. I could probably slap it back together after I swap the cases over, but I don't know how much longer it's going to run with those cam journals being all worn out like that, and you run the risk of really damaging the entire engine at that point. But he's lucky because he has a head. So with that being said, it's kind of late in the day now. I'm gonna call it here, and where we're at is we have the head off. I'm not gonna pull the cylinder. I'm gonna do that on the bench. So about the only thing we have to do now is just disconnect the wires, the front engine mount, swing arm bolt, oil lines, and pull this thing out. And we'll do that in the next video. So if you're not already subscribed, please do. It's free, costs nobody anything, doesn't cost you, doesn't cost me, but it helps me. And I would really appreciate it if you guys could smash that button for me. Other than that, this is the end of part 1. Part 2 to come. We'll probably do 3 or a 4-part series on this machine. And hopefully all you guys will tune in to see the progress and the finished product. So until the next video posts, thanks for watching.